Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. How y'all doing? Really good to see you. I felt like a top of the morning to you. That's how that sounded to me in my mind. How you guys doing? We are going to be doing day 3 of our daily creative challenge here in just a moment for Photoshop. But before I do that, I want to introduce myself for any of you who might be new. I am Kathleen. I'm a designer at Adobe, focusing on instructional design, so I'm super excited to be doing instructionals with you for the next 2 weeks. Morning. Good to see you. You're finally on live. I'm from Cleveland and went to UC, so Ohio. Not Bucks, but Bearcats. Peter, that's all right. Still respect. I have so many Ohio mugs. It's kind of sad. Jenny says, happy Thursday. Hello. Steve, good day. Good to see you. So if you're joining for the first time, give me a shout out in chat. I am looking at the Behance chat. So if you are over in YouTube, like I see Sujith is in Kamrul, if you want to come over to Behance and check it out, be.net/live, come watch over there and I'll see your messages a little bit better. What's up, Ralph? It was super fun to stream with you yesterday evening, and you showed it again. Oh, orange mug? This is red. At least maybe it looks orange to you. Hi from Spain, says Susanna. Hello. Spain in the house. So much Spain. Wow. So if you are new to these daily creative challenges, let me get you over here so we can check out the landing page. Magical. This is how you can find out about the different challenges every day. So if you want to scroll down a little bit, you can register for it by clicking the blue button there. I'm already logged in, so that's how it knows what my name is. Graphic Tee Thursday. Oh, Kendall. Yes, we will talk about that in a moment. But every day you're going to get a new challenge either here on this landing page or on Discord. We'll talk about that as well in a moment. You can join the community chat, so that's what we're doing right now on Behance. We are chatting, we are asking questions, we're working together for this live stream to go over the daily challenge. And then finally, you're going to share your work on Discord to get feedback, and then finally upload it on Behance to share with the world. So you're going to upload it to Discord and then make all of your final little tweaks, and then you can upload it as a final portfolio piece. All right, so Kendall knows, but on my team at work, we have a little something called Graphic Tee Thursday, started by yours truly, because I love graphic tees. So we are rocking the Spooky University t-shirt today. Love it very much. It even has kind of like a bat wing arm going on. Super cool. If you're wearing a graphic tee, let me know. Kendall, are you rocking it? I want to know. Oh, it's orange for you guys? My mug is? Okay, cool. Fair enough. I think it's scarlet and gray. K Morphus says, good morning from Houston. Good morning, Michelle. Happy Thursday. Good morning from Minnesota. Carrie, how you doing? And let me know where you're all watching from. I know you're already kind of popping those in the chat, but I love to see that global audience. Looking forward to today. Cool, Sig. So today we are going to be covering adjustment layers. These first 3 days have been really basic, to be honest. That's not a bad thing. You have to learn the basics before you can move on successfully. So we've done blend modes, we've talked about layers, and now we're going to talk about adjustment layers. And then starting tomorrow, we might start to get a little bit more into the nitty gritty of tools and different workflows to do a little bit more complex stuff. Alex says graphic tees are an all-day, everyday thing for you. That's how it should be. Jennifer says I'm wearing a Figment shirt. Figment like from Disney? Maui, Hawaii in the house. What's up, Carlos? Chris is watching from Chris's kitchen. Michelle's wearing a graphic tee. What's your graphic tee? Tell me about it. All right, so I mentioned Discord, and if you haven't joined Discord yet, why not? Seriously, why not? Tell me in the chat. Let me help you. If you don't know what it is, it's our 24/7 Adobe Live, basically. So this is a chat server where you can post your work to get feedback. You can ask questions, get tips and tricks from industry professionals, career advice, and ask me anything. Sometimes we host those with different designers. Oh, Dennis, you're from Chagrin Falls, up north. Nice. What's up, Dee? Good to see you, Jonas. Hello. Francesca, hi. So like I mentioned, this is another place that you can get your challenge every day. Sam, thank you for posting it, the Adjustment Layers Challenge. And then when we are done working today, we're going to upload our work onto the current challenge feedback channel for people to give critiques and comments to, so then we can upload it onto our project. So this is my current project that I have going on. Remember yesterday we started talking about photo grids in the Behance project editor. So we will add our day 3 right here. And if you would like to join Discord, it's super easy. Here is the link, bit.ly. My bun is extra tall today. It's blocking it. PS Discord, capital P, capital S. Very easy, very awesome. All right, let's get you back over here. How can I join Discord? There you go, Samantha, bit.ly/PS Discord. It's awesome, and like I mentioned, it is open 24/7, so even on the weekends, if you have questions, you can come hang out. Alrighty, so let's jump into Photoshop. If you are new to Photoshop, that is okay. Like I mentioned, adjustment layers are a basic kind of tool in Photoshop, a basic workflow, and I use them all the time. It's a great way to just make small adjustments like color correcting, changing the color mode like to black and white, adding gradients, all this kinds of stuff. And the cool thing about adjustment layers is that every time you use an adjustment layer, it makes a new actual layer in your layers panel. So you can always go back and edit it, move it around, etc., etc. Jennifer says, I couldn't find any images I liked for yesterday, but I have done that challenge with the 36 letters challenge. Oh, cool, Jennifer. Hey, that's totally okay. I'm glad that you are working on the workflow, even if you couldn't find something for that specific challenge. That's great. All right, so let me show you an example of some adjustment layers. Over on the left, we have our toolbar. Like I mentioned in previous days, at the top, we have our control bar. And where you're going to find your adjustment layers is within your layers panel. So right here, I have it pulled out. Some of you might see your layers panel down here over in the bottom right, but if it's over there, you can just grab it and pull it over. And I thought that might be helpful just to see it a little bit bigger. Alrighty, and I'm actually going to just close these because we don't need them. There we go. So where you're going to find the adjustment layers is down here at the bottom. It's this kind of like half moon icon, the circle with the diagonal line cut through it. And when I fly open that menu, we have all kinds of adjustment layers. So let me just show you one, for example, black and white. Now you could just change your image to be black and white, like in your color mode, just go grayscale. But with this black and white adjustment layer, look over here in the properties, you have all of these different options to get a little bit more specific with things. So you can increase the highlights, change the middle values a little bit if you want to. And there's also presets. So say you want to act like this photo was taken with a blue filter. There you go. Green filter. There you go. Etc., etc. And if you don't like the layer, you can either turn it off or you can just delete it by clicking the trash can or hitting delete on your keyboard. Mia says, I rearranged all my workspace yesterday after the live feed. Ooh, Mia, what are you rocking? What's your payload right now? Where are your layers? What kind of panels do you have open? It's like asking somebody what they have in their makeup bag. It's like, what's your workspace look like? All right, let's try another adjustment layer. And chat, I want to ask you if you have a favorite adjustment layer. I am very fond of using these 4 up here. So these are really just kind of like value sliders. So increasing or decreasing the lightness or darkness of an image. It's like increasing the brightness and contrast and exposure. Very classic photo editing, but these are great for different tweaks. But some people are levels people, some people are curves people. I am personally a levels person, but I think Kendall, who's watching, is a curves person, probably because Kendall is very comfortable in like Lightroom with photo curves. I'm not as comfortable with that, so I like to just play with the level sliders. It's like just playing on one plane of existence, and curves is like all 3 dimensions of space. Girl talk on workspace, placing tools and makeup bag contents. You know it, Akeen, you know it. All right, so if I slide this slider to the right, you can see a little bit more contrast is introduced, and it's also darkening the image. If I slide it to the left, it is lightening the image and also decreasing the contrast. So let's keep that right in the center. And check out all of these spikes over here in the histogram. So if I slide that to the left, you can see it gets a lot brighter. And if I slide it to the right over here, it gets a lot darker. And then these will increase or decrease just the pure black or white of the image. I don't really usually like to play with these unless I want to add kind of like that film look to an image. Lindsay says, I'm definitely a slider person. A level slider? Nice. Nicole says, I used to be a curves person, but was converted. What converted you? Let me hear your conversion story. All right, we're gonna just delete this because let's look at another one. Oops. That is another cool thing about adjustment layers is every time you make a new one, you will also have a layers mask already attached to it. So for example, let's open up, let's do, let's do levels again just to illustrate this point. If I change these levels a bunch, but then I go into this layer mask and paint within it with black, you can convert it back to the original image with the layer mask, keeping it nice and non-destructive for you. So if I paint over this, it's revealing the original image. Let's go ahead and delete that again. Cool, so that's just kind of an overview of adjustment layers. It is how you adjust your image without destructively doing so. Toonk says curves forever. Michelle says, I have curves. There you go. All right, so let's start with the image that I actually want to work on today for our finished product. I believe there's this one. Nice. So one thing about this stock image is that it is already in grayscale mode. So even if I make an adjustment layer, so if I want to maybe add like a color filter, that was not a good example. Let's do a gradient. The gradient will always be black and white because the image is already in black and white. So I'm going to change my color mode. If you go up to image, mode, oh, it's already in RGB. Okay, then I already converted it. When I first downloaded this, it was in grayscale, but I converted it to RGB. So good job past me. Mia says, cool image, thanks. It is in the starter files for you. Let's go to Daily Creative Challenge. If you go to Get Started, you can download a couple different options. I provided a couple in here for you, as well as the starter file, although if you've already downloaded it, you don't need to download that again. It's the same thing, but it will have the watermark. So either you can license it, or you can find a different image, or use your own. Nicole says, I learned what sliders mean in levels on some random tutorial video, and it makes actual sense to me now. Nicole, yes. That's awesome. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is actually select this woman so we can change her or separate her from the background. We did this yesterday in our mountains challenge, adding depth to our landscape. So let's just do the same thing, but with a person. So I'm going to go to one of my selection tools. I'm going to click select subject, and hopefully it does a good job of selecting her. It's thinking, it's thinking. Cool, and I noticed when I was working on this earlier that it didn't select her arm because it's so close to the value of the background. So let's jump into the select and mask workspace and do it by hand. So I'm going to use this quick selection tool up here. I'm going to increase the size of my brush with my bracket keys. I'm just going to paint along her arm. It'll do a good job. Nice. I also noticed that this left side of her coat gets cut off a little bit, so let's bring that back in. And I think we should be pretty good. Even the hair looks pretty nice. Yep, you can see even little individual strands are selected, which is kind of amazing. All right, we are going to output this to a selection. So if I go back to full size, you can see she is completely selected. Now let's make a layer mask so that the background disappears. I could just invert this selection and just delete the background, but to keep the background there, just in case we need it again, we can come down here to layer mask. I always do that. And remove the background that way. I inverted the selection and took away the background. Alrighty. So we have her separated from the background. Now let's use an adjustment layer to add a new background. We're going to use gradient, and then we can click this area up here to then choose a custom gradient that we want. We can make a custom gradient, or we can choose from all of these different colors, open up these different folders, check them out. I've been digging this one. We can click OK, and then in our layers panel, I'm just going to drag this below her. Okay, she is on a cool gradient background. We could just stop here. And since this is an adjustment layer, technically, we can double click on this swatch. We can even grab the background and move it up and down if we want to. We could change the angle. Maybe we would change it more to something like this, since the highlight is on the left side of her body. And we can even increase the scale so that the lines and edges are less harsh. That looks pretty good. All right, let's do one more adjustment. You want my gradient panel? Because I have all of those different folders. I can show you how to get those actually. All right, let's go up here. We're going to go, instead of gradient, let's do gradient map. So the difference between gradient and gradient map is gradient is just going to put a flat color. It's almost like you paint bucket tooled just gradient and just splashed it all across the background. For gradient map, it's going to take the highlights and shadows of my image and apply a gradient to that. So I'll show you exactly what I mean. There we go. So you see how on her figure, it's applied this black and white gradient where the highlights and shadows are. If we choose a different color, it might be a little easier to understand. So we're going to open up the purples, grab the same gradient, and there you go. The shadows are the dark side, and the highlights are this peachy side. Now for my purposes, I'm actually going to delete this orange part. We are going to just make it kind of this blue to pink. And the way that I'm deleting things is I'm just grabbing this swatch and dragging it down. And then Command Z if you want to undo that. All right. And it is still completely editable if we desire that. So we can always switch these around if we want to. That's looking pretty cool. So now the shadows are dark and the highlights are light. Whoops. All right, I dig that. Looks pretty good, but that means that our background gradient that we worked so hard to make is gone. If I turn this on and off, we can see that it is invisible here, invisible here. So let's actually clip this layer to the layer below it so that it's only affecting the figure. Different ways that we can use clipping masks, and we're actually going to touch heavily on clipping masks next week for one of our challenges, but I'll just show you quickly. You can either hold Option or Alt in between your layers and you'll see this little icon appear. It's a square with a downwards pointing arrow. If I just click, then now this gradient map is only applied to the person, and we have our beautiful gradient in the background again. If I unclip it, now the gradient map is applied to everything. So cool, we just have it on the person now. If we turn the person on and off, the gradient map also turns on and off. And there we go. I think that looks pretty cool. And now especially this light color on the left and dark to the right makes more sense because the highlights over here match this color and the shadows match this one. Alrighty, so I'm just going to place this into our starter file, our stay-at-home starter file. I'm going to open that up. Oops, I already have a preview in there. That's all right. Let me go back to the file that I was just working on. There we go. Let's save this. We've been using just to save as. That works well. We'll put it on my desktop. Day 3. Save it, and then we will open up our starter file again. And I will place it in here. Michelle says I never use gradient map, but I think I will use it more often now. It's really cool for adding different, I don't know, getting those kind of psychedelic highlights and shadows. And you can also apply a blend mode to it so it's not so kind of crunchy and posterized. We are going to pull this down. Let's see, that looks pretty good. I like how the text is playing with the figure, so I'm actually going to go a little bit further into that. If I select the optional graphic group and I make a layer mask like I just showed you, let's zoom in, use a soft brush, and actually erase some of this so it looks like the P is behind her. And let's make it seem like the E, well, I think that's kind of the only thing that really overlaps well. I could do that, but that doesn't really make sense. Okay, cool. So the P is behind her, just a little bit of depth. I like it. Let's get this exported so we can get it uploaded onto Behance. Export as. That was sick fast. Hopefully it wasn't too sick fast. Epic aesthetics, you like? All right, let's make the width about 800 because we are just uploading onto Behance. We don't need to do super high res. And then I'm going to be out of here in just a couple minutes, but I will go over the schedule for the rest of the day too. All right, day 3, final, save. Jennifer says, I'm a gradient addict. Oh, you love making them from images and adding them to your library. Yeah, do you do that with Capture? That's awesome. So first we're going to upload this onto Discord to get your guys' feedback, and then I'll show you how to upload it onto Behance super quick. If I want to upload on Discord, let me move this out of the way super quick. You're just going to click this plus button, make sure you're in the current challenge feedback channel. Click that, find your file. There it is, day 3. And then it's always helpful to ask for specific feedback. Is the text legible, or should I move the background elements? Elements. Upload, I'll get your feedback, and I'm hopefully going to be around for the rest of the day, kind of popping into Discord and giving feedback myself. Been a little bit busy the last couple of days, so it's been hard to jump in there, but there are other mentors as well. We've got Sam Peterson in there, Tim's in there. It's very awesome. All right, let's edit our photo grid, get this added. It's as easy as clicking edit grid. We're going to delete day 3. We're going to add a new photo. We're going to find our file. This is why it's important to stay organized. You're always finding files. There we go. We have a really interesting color theme going on so far. It goes from like very pinky, and then this is kind of middle of the road orange, and then this is very orange. Wasn't even intentional. Oh, Jen says Voodoo Val taught you how to do the gradient in Photoshop by using a photo. Nice. D, you're hanging in there? Good. I'm glad. All right, so let's go over the the calendar for the rest of the day. Pop back over to my big view. There I am. So if you just go to behance.net/live where you're watching right now, you can always just scroll below the live player and check out the challenge for the rest of the day. So Shauna started off the day doing some awesome illustrating in Photoshop. And then we're going to have 2 blocks of awesome video content. So I think it's going to focus on Premiere Pro today with Jason Levine from 9:30 to 11:30. So 2 hours of it. And then Julia Masalska is going to be doing her daily creative challenge for Illustrator. So if you are interested in learning Illustrator alongside Photoshop, they're kind of a match made in heaven. You can come back at 11:30 for that. And then after, we're going to have Emily and Andrew coming back for day 2 of designing their e-cards. Emily and Andrew are both awesome, super sweet, so you should watch that if you're interested in learning more about Illustrator. After that, Jesse's going to be up for his XD Daily Creative Challenge, so Photoshop, Illustrator, XD. If you want to learn all of them, you totally can. That will be at 2. Kyle's going to be back with his Draw Along series in Photoshop or Fresco. So this is really awesome, especially if you have kids that you want to get kind of integrated into the digital art space. You can come back at 2:30, and then Alex Laz is going to be up at 3 doing some dimension stuff, so some 3D kind of mocking up and modeling. Then we're going to have Ian coming back for some more Premiere Pro, and then we also have user live streaming, so I might pop on live streaming later tonight doing some more fresco painting, who knows, but it is always awesome to check that out. You can scroll down further and see who's streaming. All right, Susanna says, I wish I could. The day is not enough hours. I feel you. So many live streams to be had. You can always watch replays though, which is awesome. Okay, yeah, Alex Lass says, whoop whoop, definitely go check out Alex's stream. Good person, probably wearing a graphic tee as well. Tanya, see you later. Is it possible to do past challenges? Yes, Hannah, you should scroll down to the bottom of the landing page for the Daily Creative Challenge, and they are all there for you. They're recorded, and we also have the starter files there. So you can check that out. Alrighty, Michael, Keith, Akeen, I will see you later. Stick around for more streams coming up right after me. And for now, I am out. Thanks, everybody. See you later. Bye.